You are listening to PartyNerdz Weekly.
PartyNerdz in the house! Oh, okay, now this week is gonna be a fun one. And first, before we get started, let me just run through the cast. We have the evil one himself with the fake plaster dog. Give it up for Jorge.
That dog is fake.
Dog's fake.
Is it alive? Can you wake it up?
Dog's fake. Don't pet it.
The dog's like,
He's got an interactive background. That's not a real dog.
Speak for yourself, moron.
and we also have back with us from his light-skinned adventures from the wild. He was missing for a week, but now he is back. Give it up for James B. Shore.
Can you feel it, baby? Excuse me. Do you think that I might be able to...
That's right. I've returned from the beige verse. I'm sorry that you missed it. Where we only age every 20 years.
That's true. That's just, beige don't age.
It never does.
And we also have with us the lovely yet feisty unicorn herself. Give it up for Sam. What's up, Sam?
What's up?
And we also have with us my partner in crime, my ride or die, my wedding crasher associate, or NikkiGeeks.
AKA fuck the police. Oh.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And we have back, since we don't have Bravo, we need another intelligent Caucasian individual with a nice beard. He doesn't have the...
You fit the description, sir.
He doesn't have the Bravo beard, but you know what, guys? We get what we take. So give it up for Dominic. First of all, I need to make a confession, and I need to actually. I think a couple of us here do too.
Yep.
We did a show a couple months ago talking about the Snyder Cut. We were saying how it's probably going to suck. We were saying how it's probably going to be the same movie. Now, I can't speak for everyone here, but personally, if they had Crow right now, I would eat Crow because I was wrong. What do you guys think? Like, were we all wrong?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
I'm looking at the copy of the Dark Magic that Zack Snyder used to make this movie not terrible. It's some old dark shit right here.
What, like James, like didn't you think? What did you think?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Woodchuck could chuck wood. Woodchuck could chuck wood.
What were you expecting with this movie?
I expected it to be better. I mean, that was the goal, right? The goal was for it to be better than the Joss Whedon disaster that we basically saw, what Bravo raved about. But
Fucking good.
unfortunately, we had to sit through a 4-hour movie with many parts. And the thing is, within that 4-hour movie, it kept us in tune in watching this whole thing. I did not get bored the entire time. The segments were fine. It worked out to its effect. I mean, it's just $70 million in the can.
Did you guys like the original version? Did you hate it as much as I did? I hated the original.
Speak for yourself, moron.
I think I talked about it on a specific show with you guys about how much I truly hated the Joss Whedon Justice League. I never got into it. The characters, I literally did not want to watch it again, and that's saying a lot for a superhero movie because I think I even watched BVS again. Okay.
I even watch BVS again. Okay.
Never admit that ever again. Like
I know, but that's how bad that I hated Justice League more than BVS. Sorry.
Let's talk about why was Joss Whedon brought in. Now, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Zack Snyder, he lost a child, right?
He lost a child and he had to leave the movie. It was during production and he had to step away.
And Warner Brothers did not want to delay the film, so they pushed it forward.
Yeah. So then they just got Joss because, of course, he had just had Avengers, and they were like, okay, let's get somebody that's familiar with comic book movies, and we'll probably do this right.
And Joss Whedon at the time was disenfranchised because he was upset with the changes they wanted to include with Age of Ultron. So they got him at the right moment because he was upset with Marvel wanting to take their movies in a different direction.
And he took that anger out on every single person that was working on the Justice League at that time, and most specifically Ray Fisher.
So, like, Dom, let me ask you, because, like, do you think WB told Joss? Now, so this is the debate, because we just did a PartyNerdz post on it. It's one of two things. Either Joss Whedon was like, I see the Zack Snyder version of the movie. I don't like it. I want to make it my way. And because I'm not a Ray Fisher fan, I'm going to cut his parts out. Or was WB, did they tell him, you know what? We went kind of like your Marvel movies, kind of like what you did with Avengers. Which way do you think they went with it?
So it's really hard to tell, and no one will ever know. So all we can do is speculate, right? In my opinion, when you look at the difference in certain key scenes in the Snyder Cut, when Batman meets Aquaman and doesn't say, so I hear you can talk to fish. When Aquaman says, strong man is strongest alone, and Batman doesn't say, no one ever says that. Those little Joss Whedon jokes are all pulled out, right? Mm-hmm. So you can see his influence in all those other scenes and all the other upskirt scenes and everything else that everyone talks shit about in the Whedon Cut.
Or you mean like when Flash was in the line and he drew the glasses on the guy's face? Like little
or when the Flash falls in Wonder Woman's boobs and then gets back up again. All that was taken out.
All the quirkiness was taken.
I think, in my opinion, Warner Brothers wanted to get this movie out because they wanted to get on the hype train. They wanted to get on the superhero hype train and make as much money as possible, and they were not willing to wait. They forced it down everyone's throat. They're like, we're making this movie happen. And what happened is gone into history, is gone into legend. So now it's 2017 and our movie came out and it's terrible. As far as this movie, I liked it. It was good. I think it was better. I mean, on a scale of good, better, best, it was better. It was better than it was before. I was happy with it. I think that they missed the mark. I think that people have waited so long. They could have done it in 6 parts on HBO Max, and they could have stretched it across 6 weeks.
Yeah, like The Hateful Eight did in Netflix. That was so freaking good.
Yeah.
And if they had done that, they would have had everyone talking about it week after week after week after week. And I want to say rookie mistakes, but DC's been around for how long? And Warner Brothers has been around for how long?
WB did not want to put this shit out in the miniseries format. They wanted.
That's 100% Warner Brothers' fault.
Yeah, they wanted to find a way to fuck Zack Snyder. We're just going to do this one off.
It would have been smarter strategically, marketing wise, to stretch this out over 6 weeks.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Yes. Go out into the street and ask your aunt, your mom, random people, hey, do you watch the Snyder Cut on HBO Max? You know what they're going to say?
What can a poor boy do? Working for the likes of me and you. What more can a poor boy say?
No, they're not. They're going to say, I don't know what that is. I've asked numerous adults that have no idea what it is. They have no idea what it is because they got no marketing behind it. If they had built this up over the course of 6 weeks and followed and I hate to say it, the Marvel formula, the Disney Plus formula, the Netflix formula, they would have built up hype where people would have been talking about it on the PartyNerdz every week. And then we would have been like, oh my God, I got to get in on this and I got to watch it.
That would have been
wait. Who shelled out the $70 million?
What Warner Brothers gave the $70 million out. What, that was Warner Brothers.
Look, you put 5 more years and 5 years of reflecting and $70 million into a movie, I could make Green Lantern look great. You know, like.
But yo,
you do, Dom. You do, Dom. You really do.
That went into the movie though. That never went into the marketing and the promotion or anything like that. That went into just Zack saying, "Hey, I need $70 million to basically make this shit look better for the scenes that I wanted to do in the first place."
Yep. Conspiracy Theory Dom wonders what he has on them, where he forced them to give him that money. There's something behind the scenes there.
Do you feel this movie could have been done in 2 hours? That's a question I have.
Hell no. Hell fucking no.
No.
So let me start off by saying that while people, Dom, you said that people aren't talking. I was walking around my neighborhood today just watching the movie, like going through certain parts again. And I had 3 people that walked by me said, "Oh, what are you watching?" I said, the Zack Snyder's Justice League. They're like, "Oh, wow, I hear it's really long." People know about it because of its length. This movie is revolutionary for filmmakers. This movie is, I believe, revolutionary for filmmakers because all these superhero movies are cut down into these theatrical releases so more can be played in theaters. Yeah. But now they have this option for streaming. And I think this is why people are talking. The movie's content is not going going to be talked about. I think the fact that it's 4 hours long and there's still people watching it, that's what's going to get people going. Okay?
Well, see, just to piggyback off her point, Justice League, well, this movie was 4 hours long. If you remember correctly, Avengers Infinity War was supposed to be 2 parts, and it was 3 hours apiece. So it's supposed to be 6. Imagine if they did that in one movie, but they did not. They did it in 2, and then they decided to make them 2 separate movies altogether. So it's revolutionary because this is the shit that's going to happen. If we had the ability to get all these Hobbit and Lord of the Rings movies to come out, every single one of them was 3 hours apiece. Nobody said a goddamn thing because them shits were awesome. As long as you keep the audience in tune with what's going on, you're fine. You're golden. Regardless of the fact that we didn't get a Green Lantern, those Martian Manhunter scenes were whack.
They were shoehorned, absolutely.
That was so fucking.
The ending scene where basically the whole all right, Martian Manhunter just stayed at home and watched the whole world just basically like go to fuck off.
People are starting to drop the race card with this because Cyborg, Ray Fisher, just from the beginning did not like Joss Whedon as a person. Right. And the fact that he cut out, first of all, Cyborg was, if not the main character.
Yes.
In the movie, he was one of the, no, I'm sorry. He's the fucking main character in this
movie. He's the point in the movie.
My broken boy. I'm not broken.
That's what grounded. We're not Batman and Superman, but we could be a football player that has issues with our parents. That story. His story is heartbreaking. It's heartwarming. It's all the words with the word heart and ing at the end. So the fact Black Panther, when Chadwick Boseman died, people around the world cried because their superhero that represented them was gone. So we had a chance with Cyborg to have that, and he robbed it from everyone.
Yeah, because if you remember correctly from the old Justice League movie, Cyborg scenes, of course, all caught the backstory was completely cut out. And then also in those final scenes, everything violent happened to Cyborg. He got chopped in the side of his shoulder by Steppenwolf, and he got ripped in 2. That didn't happen in this one.
Well, I mean, but and again, with Cyborg, they also Iris West, even though her scene was smaller in it, there was no need to take that out. Like it's just it makes you wonder, like, all right, Joss, what were you thinking? Why were you cutting out all the people? Because when you cut out Cyborg, you cut out his mother, his father, a lot of his father, you cut out a lot of people of color. And again, not to make it racial, but in the end, it does end up looking like that.
I do wish Cyborg and Flash had their individual movies introducing them.
Well,
I didn't expect to want more from a 4-hour movie. You know?
What the fuck?
It's 10,000 years ago. You're a cave dude. You are carnivorous. You've got to bonk 28 stages of prehistoric bad guys to rescue your excellent-looking princess. And you've only got one weapon. Bonk's Adventure, only on the TurboGrafx 16 system.
The drama in this new updated Wonder Woman scene, like, dude was just trying to murk kids. Now, I know in the first one, they did put it out there like that, but this one was more sinister. You were like, yo, this
was out there, and here's the other thing.
I loved it.
If you notice in the original cut, every time Wonder Woman comes on scene, it's the Wonder Woman drums. Constantly. In this, there was an epic soundtrack, and the music only played when like something crazy was happening, and it added to that feeling of intensity.
This one will be mine.
Aquaman got bitches singing for him, smelling his robe.
It was ridiculously
I hated that. Okay.
You can't tell me that Aquaman ain't hit off that whole island.
The whole island. The whole island.
They are all wearing his sweaters that he showed up to the island with.
They were all groupies.
He brings them fish.
pregnant
and they give him
right now.
Yo, okay, guys, let me throw this at Jorge because he's sitting there with a half-dead dog in the background. But Jorge, what did you think about what they did with Steppenwolf? Do you think, like, as far as the writing is concerned, do you think that they improved the villain? Because we always said before, a bad guy makes the movie.
Yeah, he had a good backstory. He came as a disgraced general, right?
Yep.
He's got to prove himself again to what's his motherfucking face? Apocalypse.
Dark side.
No.
I'm kidding. You don't think this movie was perfect? I don't think any of us thought it was perfect. It was still, it still had its flaws.
No, it didn't change my life like everyone else is making it. I mean, I thought it was great, but I thought it was much better than what we got. But I also felt like there was quite a few things that could have been cut down. Some of the fight scenes went on a little bit too long. The weird women singing to Aquaman went on. It should have never happened. I also felt like.
Will WB learn from this? Because
they have consistently and utterly failed with DC properties, almost as bad as Fox has failed with X-Men properties. They have had, since 1992, commercial cartoons that have won Academy Awards, and instead, let's keep trying to make up a fucking movie with no source material whatsoever. You could put Batman the Animated Series in live action, scene for scene, right now on HBO Max, and I'll pay twice as much a month for it.
This is the thing. Okay, we've spent basically a better half of about 3 years putting this together as far as Snyder Cut coming out from the Justice League movie. In that time, how many movies, I believe 2 years ago, that they were going to develop for DC through WB? Remember, there was like a massive amount just coming out every week. Blue Beetle,
Adam.
Black Adam, which has been in development for about 12 years. We finally got a Shazam movie. Let's see, Booster Gold. They said that they were going to do all these movies. Zatanna movie. They were going to do a Justice League Dark movie and everything like that. The Snyder Cut, as good as it was with this second go round, has fucked up a lot of development for DC.
But what are they going to do? Because here's the thing. Ray Fisher's not coming back as long as that guy from Warner Brothers is still there. And here's the other thing. You guys are forgetting. Ezra Miller choked a woman on video like 2 years ago.
Did you want to fight? Is that... Finish her. Whoa, bro.
Ben Affleck's a consistent alcoholic. Gal Gadot's pregnant right now. So what are they doing? Like,
say for instance, all this shit does come back. That everybody just basically comes back. Okay, those movies now have to get written and developed and everything like that. There's already a Batman movie that has to come out with Robert Pattinson. So there will be 2 Batmans going on at one time.
And it's still a mess. It's still a mess. I don't care how good a movie is. The continuity of the DC verse is still a mess. It's a hot mess.
And Cable is now out as Superman because now they're going to rewrite it with J.J. Abrams and Ta-Nehisi Coates. They might bring in a black Superman, which will piss everybody and their motherfucking mama off.
Especially Joss Whedon. Oh, Joss Whedon ain't going to be happy about that.
No, not at all. And the thing is, it has nothing to do with Henry Cavill because he's probably the most perfect Superman we've seen in a very, very, very
I agree.
long time.
Man of Steel was amazing.
Man of Steel is epic.
Oh, great.
He is perfect for that role. He should be in that role. It just so happens that he's had horrible writers. He has horrible people basically in the executive office that are not able to fulfill the plan for Superman. And it sucks because we've had to go through so many Batman, so many Jokers in that same time frame.
Yes.
It's a crapshoot now.
They wanted Henry Cavill to shave his chest because real men don't have chest hair, and Henry Cavill said, I'm a real man with chest hair.
You guys want to see a real man with chest hair?
Oh, here we go.
As far as the whole social media reaction to this, it's always been DC versus Marvel, and all the time Marvel fans always floated. They were like, oh, and then there's people like us who we try to be non-biased. We just try to be like, look, the first Justice League we said sucked because it did suck. This one is actually good. What is this movie now that is good doing to that whole social media world?
I'm getting sick of people comparing the characters, and I'm getting sick of people saying the Flash is the Spider-Man in the DC universe. But I don't really pay attention to it because I know that by keeping them separate, I'm enjoying 2 separate universes, and that's the way people should be doing it. Yeah. So people need to stop comparing. That's all I have to say. I don't really see much. I don't go online.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about,
Same, James.
Zack Snyder was a genius from a marketing perspective. He created an army that would push this movie on a social media platform.
Absolutely.
created, and this is not a knock on him. This is genuine appreciation for a genius move. Hey, there's a Snyder Cut out there somewhere. Now, it wasn't finished. It was in the cutting room, and then he finished it. Now he brought it out. But he had the social media movement that drove it. Then all he had to say is, everyone who helped drive this, you were an associate producer in this movie. So now people are adding it to their bios, they're adding it to their hashtags, they're adding it everywhere. And now he says, my daughter died of suicide, and I appreciate that each and every one of you were there for me. That buy this shirt, and the proceeds go to suicide awareness.
To another level
millions and millions of dollars that he raised for suicide awareness is awesome. Awesome. And it is a genius move of marketing to get this army of people behind him. Now, here's the thing, though. That has also empowered all of those fans that now they think anything is possible. So we're going to see campaign after campaign after campaign of restore the Snyderverse. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I don't think it can happen because of Ezra Miller, because of Ray Fisher, because of Joss Whedon, because of Henry Cavill, because of all these other factors that are out there. And at the end of the day, because of the greed of the WB.
I say double WB.
Dom's right. WB is not... It needs to be taken out of WB's hands. Like,
just sell DC.
Just sell
Marvel.
DC because
Marvel
they
buy it.
are
No,
butchering
damn
it.
WB means we bullshit.
DC has a lot of OP characters. It is hard to do a bunch of OP characters, let alone in one movie. It's hard to humanize OP characters. They have these power sets that nobody's ever seen before. The thing that Marvel does well is that Captain America was a human being before anything else. Tony Stark was a human being. Yeah.
That's why I hate
Spider-Man is
Superman,
from
man.
Brooklyn. Like all these people acquired their powers, but the thing is, they're humans first.
Even though you're right, good writing can conquer all. And I actually see in this movie,
Hasn't helped for them.
Well, no, but and again, in the Snyder Cut, you see what a better script does for these characters. Like, you fleshed out Cyborg, who before was just this guy pissed off with a chip on his shoulder. Now, like, you look at what he went through. He saw his mom die because his father didn't show up. He has every right to be pissed. He's not just angry for no reason.
And it took a human factor for that to happen.
Right.
The only way they're fixing this is if they start over. And the only way they can start over is with this guy right here. Like, unless they do a Flashpoint
been
movie.
saying it for 10 years.
Nikki, then talk about the nightmare. What did you think about his nightmare at the end of
It was so fucking unnecessary.
Thank you.
That was honestly the stupidest. That whole epilogue could have been that. I went from, hey, that was a great fucking movie to, okay.
Zack Snyder wanted to see Batman and Joker together.
I understand. I understand. Right? But take Jared Leto and throw him the fuck out.
Oh, the best Joker ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Jorge loves Jared Leto. He loves Jared Leto. You just
that was the.
Look, that was the one moment in the movie where I was looking for Joss Whedon. I was like, man, erase this shit. Like, come on, bro, where you at?
Come get your man.
I think he just wanted to give us a taste as to where the Snyder trilogy would have gone if he had the chance to make it. Like, but it's not going to happen. So just end it. Like, just fuck it.
It was confusing. When I saw that, I'm like, why are we looking at it? Why are we teamed up?
I get the point of it because it's the whole Batman contingency plan thinking where he has that whole nightmare sequence in his head. And he knows initially, basically from Batman versus Superman, that it's at some point in time, if Superman had the ability to go rogue, we're fucked.
Yeah, we saw that with Cyborg too, when he saw that vision.
Yeah, and the thing is, okay, we get that. Now, he just had to show it to us on screen, and it was unnecessary.
I think it was a cock tease. I think that Nikki's 100% right, that he wanted to show us where he was going to go, and that was his, let me see how I can get the fans to invest in my next movie. I mean,
I don't want Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I don't want Ben Affleck as Batman anymore. I don't want it anymore. I got this. This was good. End it.
But I want a Wonder Woman that's going to rip things apart with her bare hands, blood everywhere. I want a savage.
Could we get a thick Wonder Woman too? Like someone with fucking muscles that's like gonna like actually kick someone's ass?
Thank
that would
you.
be amazing.
Wonder Woman.
Gina Carano is looking for a job, I heard.
This is the age-old argument of as far as women, because there was a period a couple years ago, they're like, oh, every woman doesn't have to be represented, this or that. But the bottom line is there's nothing wrong with bodybuilder women who are also a demographic.
Absolutely not.
For people to say that, oh, women, this and that, like, no, you're not representing who Wonder Woman was in the comic, which is a built-ass chick. So there's nothing wrong with finding a girl, like, you know, there's tons of bodybuilder girls out there.
Look at the Amazons.
Exactly.
The Amazons are strong as shit.
I don't want us to think I don't want people to think that we're body shaming Gal
Not at
Gadot
all.
for not being,
No.
but I'm saying we've seen enough model-esque women on TV. Can you give us something real for once? I know she's
100%.
real,
Thank you.
but listen,
Thank you.
I got a belly. Like, let's go.
But to be fair, this was probably the most savage Wonder Woman we've seen on film.
100%.
Killed the dude in the office building with no regard.
Yeah, you're right.
She chopped off Steppenwolf's head with no, after he got stabbed. I feel like he was already dead, and she just felt like she needed to cut his head off anyway. And that was a shot at Marvel. Already said that they're not in the Flashpoint movie. They're not going to do the Atlantis Themyscira War. So they're not even going to go there. See, this is already.
You're not going to cut off Amber Heard's head?
Yeah,
that's the point of the movie. That's the point of the story.
Exactly. Do you realize how happy people would be if Wonder Woman cut off Amber Heard's head? I mean, she threw shit on people, but
hey guys, but go down. Dom, last point. Go ahead.
No, your mother. Go ahead.
What'd you say about my? Oh no, hold up. So guys, real quick, just to wrap it up, everyone, on a scale of 1 to 10, Nikki, give me what you would rate the original to the Snyder Cut. What would you rate the original?
So I think the original was, I don't know, 4.5, and I give the Snyder Cut like an 8.75 for me.
Okay, Sam, what would you?
The original, I would give a 2, and the Snyder Cut, I think I would give like an 8.
Dom, what about you?
Yeah, I'm way more frugal, man. I would have gone a 2 or a 3, and I'm only going to go like a 6 because I told you, good, not great. You know, I think it was better, not best.
James?
3 for the original and like 7 for the Snyder Cut.
Jorge? Explosions!
Michael Bay presents Explosions!
Yeah.
Explosions!
There's a lot more explosions than this one.
2 for the original and 6 for the new one because I fell asleep 4 times.
No, I agree with you guys. 2 or 3 for the original. And I'm gonna say 7 just because I do feel that there was parts that just dragged on all the slow-mo scenes.
Yeah, that bothered me too.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
We could have made it a lot faster. But honestly, I think that from here on out, I'm curious to see what WB is going to do because the ball is in their court. Are they going to screw up or are they actually going to like continue, see what the success in this? Like, what do you think?
Snap out of it.
If I could put money on them fucking up, I'm putting money on them fucking up.
Me too.
X-Men
100%.
X-Men syndrome,
On.
100%.
Yeah.
Straight up.
In WB's words, that's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Okay.
Was that the end?